Hi, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to another raid build video. This is for the 7-star ground Torterra that we're going to be talking about. I'm also getting on a flight very soon to go to Japan for the wild area, which I'll be streaming on Twitch this weekend. So this video might be a little quick, nor did I normally spend hours building Pokemon, but I did a quick once-over. I think a lot of old Pokemon work here, so I didn't really need to spend a lot of time. It's just tweaking some EVs. But it's kind of the same strategy here. So because Torterra will be the ground type, if we bring grass or bug, we resist that. And then super effective wise, water, grass, and ice is what we would want to bring. It's going to be impossible to bring water because Torterra is a grass Pokemon and it will definitely know a grass type move. And ice is just not a good type. It's rarely a good type. And in this situation, when we look at Torterra's moveset, it's highly likely that it will have a rock type move, which actually doesn't help for any bugs either. So it has nothing super effective against grass. And we also resist its grass type moves while being grass. So all of these Pokemon are going to be grass. Does that mean ice type Pokemon can't work? No, I'm sure somebody will make an Avalugg work, maybe, probably. But for the sake of like what we know, grass seems to be the best. Torterra is definitely physical with the 109 attack stat, and it's very, very defensive here, and pretty slow. So ideally, we would want to hit it on the special side, which we're gonna do. And if it does have one or two special attacks, it's not going to be that threatening. Mostly also because its moveset is pretty limited. So on the ground side, these would be the scariest moves on the ground side. So that's going to be Headlong Rush, which is 120, and Earthquake, which is 100. I don't expect Torterra to have both of these moves, but I do expect it to have one of these two moves. So not only does it get the same type attack bonus, but it also gets the Tera bonus as well. So these moves hit really hard. These would be the hardest hitting moves, and the great thing about bringing grass Pokemon is we resist that. And specifically with Earthquake, if it does have Earthquake, that's even better for us because grassy terrain will reduce the damage of Earthquake. Now, grassy terrain would increase the damage to Wood Hammer if we do set that, but because we already resist grass, I ran the calculations, and the trade-off is just completely like giving Torterra a little bit more damage for Wood Hammer to give us more damage to it is a really, really good trade-off because, again, it does reduce the damage to Earthquake. You're going to see grassy terrain on a couple of these Pokemon. I will say if there are Pokemon standing next to you that don't resist grass, maybe be very cautious about setting grassy terrain. But if you're playing with an all-grass team, setting grassy terrain is going to benefit you way more than it's going to benefit Torterra. So if we can survive Woodhammer, we can survive any of the other grass-type moves it has. It does have some coverage. Crunch, none of our Pokemon have to worry about that. Outrage, one of our Pokemon would have to worry about that. But I still took that in consideration when building. It's going to be Appleton. It'll be the first one we talk about. But even Outrage isn't that great of a move for Torterra to know. It does get Body Press. I am worried, as you can see from its moveset, that this is going to be another Meganium situation where it's just going to go Iron Defense or Curse and then Body Press. We have a solution for that. Zen Headbutt. Nothing we have is weak to get against Psychic. These two moves would be better even if they were resisted. Stone Edge. This would be a worry for the Ice-type Pokemon, like I said. It does get Rock Slide and a couple other moves, but Stone Edge is the strongest one, so I took that in consideration. And then it does get Iron Head and Heavy Slime. Kind of the same thing here. Nothing we have is going to be super effective. But I guess that would make it threatening for Ice-type Pokemon as well. So because of these moves, that's why I'm skipping out on ice, but because we resist this stuff up here, that's really good. So that's all it really gets. Anything not on this would be significantly weaker, and I've calced all of this to survive. On the status side, we get Curse and Iron Defense and Amnesia. I guess all of these Pokemon don't do amazing if it has Amnesia, but again, I took this into consideration. We have one Pokemon that will shut that down. Light Screen and Reflect. This is what reminds me of the Meganium situation. If it Light Screen reflects, then Iron Defenses, and then Body Presses, because there's not a lot happening here. And then finally a Swords Dance. So that's what we can kind of expect from Torterra in general. That leads us to our first Pokemon, which is Appleton. Now, Appleton you probably have an Appleton if you watch any of my videos, because Appleton is very good because of its signature move, Apple Acid, which would lower Torterra's special defense every time you use it. And then, of course, it does super effective because it's grass. It helps you build Tera. It helps your team do more damage. It is the grass version of Acid Spray. All the abilities here are not particularly good. Thick Fat doesn't really help you out too much here because Thick Fat is only for fire and ice, and Torterra has none of that. So if you are to go with a ability, I would do Ripen. You don't have to do a Citrus Berry, but I did set the EVs here to take into consideration that one Outrage. So we have 252 HP, 60 defense, and 196 special attack. And so you will be able to survive 2 Outrages, which doesn't sound like a lot, but once you set a Reflect, you should be able to survive 5 Outrages based on these EVs. And if you do run Citrus Berry with the Ripen, you will be back to ultimately full health after that first Outrage, so you can set that Reflect. And then you can just Giga Drain your way back to full health. And then once you Terrastalize, which the Citrus Berry would help you survive that initial Outrage, assuming it has it. If it doesn't have Outrage, then don't even worry about this. It'll be the easiest fight ever, should be. You would be able to then remove the Dragon type and then not have to worry about Outrage at all because you'll be just pure Grass Tera. If it does not have Outrage at all, like I said, it will be easier, but also you could switch the held item to like a Light Clay or a Miracle Seed or something else. But if you wanted to take advantage of the Ripen ability, I would use Citrus Berry. And also, if somebody else is running Grassy Terrain or something, you could do Recycle to get your Citrus Berry back. But Appleton would need... I think all these Pokemon need a Reflect. I think for every single one of these raids, there's been however many starters. Reflect and Light Screen are so good in every situation, and we've only had one raid where it didn't matter, which was, well, I guess 2 raids. There was a critical hit Samurott where it didn't really matter, but the last raid it didn't matter because it was just removed with Psychic Fangs. So, but I always put 6 moves on these Pokemon. So if something like that happens where it's like, oh, I can't use this move because of what the CPU has, that's why there's 6 moves I suggest, so you can be flexible and not feel like you're stuck in a box. So ultimately how you play this is you Reflect, you Apple Acid, Giga Drain, Apple Acid, Giga Drain, Terrastalize as soon as you can. Just make sure that when Reflect wears off, you set it again. And then Grassy Terrain to boost everyone's Grass type damage and to reduce Earthquake damage, assuming it has Earthquake. Pretty easy. You probably already have one. Really good. Speaking of something you probably already have, Go-Goat. Now, Go-Goat's cool because it can be a mixed attacker. It has 97 special attack, 100 attack. It's so similar. But the reason we always go special attack with Go-Goat is because we always pair it next to Appleton. That's like the main reason why. So Appleton doing Apple Acid is going to make your special attacks do more. So that would be silly to do the physical side of it. Also, Torterra's physical attack is way higher. So we would do just more damage switching to the special attack. So we're going to do Go-Goat with Grass Pelt. Grass Pelt is a signature ability. It will boost your defense in grassy terrain. So the held item I have on Go-Goat is the Terrain Extender. It'll make the terrain last 8 turns instead of 5 turns. But you do get that defense boost. And like I said, because all of our Pokemon are grass, all of our Pokemon are going to get a damage increase because of that, which means our Giga Drains will do more damage, which means we will get more health back, which means ideally you beat the raid faster. So, and Go-Goat gets that grass boost. Now, the last time we had Go-Goat, there was a problem where the raid boss outsped. So if Go-Goat players did not wait for a Reflect to go up from a faster Pokemon, they would take way too much damage way too fast. Turn order does matter in raids. So this isn't that situation now. You don't have to wait for a Reflect here because Go-Goat just outspeeds Torterra naturally. So you will always go before Torterra in this situation. We'll have Giga Drain, Grassy Terrain, Worry Seed, and Growth. Brick Break is here in case Torterra runs screens. We want at least one Pokemon to break those screens. So You don't need Brick Break if you don't see screens. Worry Seed does disable Torterra's ability. We did not talk about that, but Torterra's ability is Shell Armor. It just means it cannot be critical hit. Not that big of a deal. Not super threatening. Doesn't really throw a huge wrench into it. Being able to critical hit is nice, but like most raids are not dependent on that. So removing that ability isn't that big of a deal, but also Go-Goat can remove that ability relatively easy. So not a priority to Worry Seed, but you have to Worry Seed before the raid shield goes up because you can't Worry Seed once it does. So if you are playing with another Go-Goat, one Go-Goat Grassy Terrains, the other Go-Goat Worry Seeds, and then you just spam Giga Drain until you win. And then Growth slightly increases the Giga Drain damage as well. Just make sure you PP max your Giga Drain because it might be one of those situations where Torterra is a little bit bulkier than expected, so just make sure to PP max your moves there. Our next Pokemon is just like a pure attacking Pokemon, and it's going to be superior with a contrary ability. Because Leaf Storm lowers your special attack, with contrary, it actually increases your special attack. So make sure to PP max that because Leaf Storm is only 5. You definitely want that to be 8. The reason I would suggest superior over Lurantis, which has the same ability, contrary, is purely because of Breaking Swipe. Breaking Swipe will lower Torterra's attack every time you use it, and because you only have 8 Leaf Storms, you want to preserve those until you are like terrestrialized and ready to go. So I would just spam Breaking Swipe until you're able to Tera, and even when Torterra resets its stats, just like Breaking Swipe 1 or 2 more times to help your team. If we are worried about like Iron Defense or Swords Dance or anything else status-wise, Superior can learn Taunt, and then Superior can also Reflect. So if Appleton is not there, you can Reflect for your team. We're just going to do Shell Bell, so when you do the Leaf Storm damage, you get the health back. Leaf Storm is boosted by Grassy Terrain, and if you are playing with another support Pokemon and has everything taken care of, you can Leaf Storm to get to +6 and then switch to a Sunny Day Solar Beam combination to do even more damage. But that's if you're like playing with coordinated players, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. EVs on Superior are 100 HP, 180 defense, and 228 special attack. These EVs are very specific for a move that I cannot remember. I did these calculations last night. I'm pretty sure these EVs turn all 5-hit KOs into 6-hit KOs is probably what I was doing from what I remember last night. But yeah, Superior is really easy to play. Taunt or Reflect if you need to, otherwise just Breaking Swipe until you can Leaf Storm. Wait till your stats are reset, that'll eventually happen, and then you can get to +6, and then you don't waste all your Leaf Storms too early on Torterra. And then finally, to prevent all of this from falling apart, is Brute Bonnet, which ability is going to be pretty useless here. And this attack stat is going to be kind of useless here. We're not really going to take advantage of the 127 attack. We are going to speed creep Torterra. So Torterra is 56, and we are 55. So we're going to put 12 speed EVs into Brute Bonnet just to make sure we outspeed Torterra every time. I don't think Torterra is going to get a positive speed nature. It wouldn't really make any sense. But our Brute Bonnet will have Giga Drain, Clear Smog, Pollen Puff, and Taunt. So Giga Drain, obviously, just to do damage and get your health back. Clear Smog is to remove the possible body press. Now, Brute Bonnet is weak against body press. Without any, at a neutral body press, we survive 4 of them. So, and because we outspeed, if we see the Iron Defense or the Curse, we Clear Smog, Giga Drain, Clear Smog, Giga Drain. That's kind of how we would play that. We do outspeed, so if this does end up being a defensive body press set, we get to Clear Smog it before it decides to attack. Now, I said that Brute Bonnet survives 4 body presses. That's if there is a Reflect, that goes up to surviving 7 body presses. And of course, we can remove the Dark type once we get to Grass. So Clear Smog is a move. Giga Drain is a move. Pollen Puff is a move. So as long as we use those 3 times, we can remove the Dark. Pollen Puff is here to help your teammates. We don't have a Life Dew user this time. So I would, because this is a full support Pokemon, you're going to be managing any Swords Dances or any Iron Defenses with Clear Smog. You're going to pollen puff your team to keep healthy. You're going to heal cheer your team to keep healthy. You have the ability to taunt. And then you also have an ability to do damage if everything's going smooth with Giga Drain. So, 252 HP, 144 defense, 100 special attack, and 12 speed EVs. You could go max defense, but you're still only... It's the same. It's whether it's 144 or 252, you're still surviving 4 body press. So that's why I just moved the other to special attack. That gives you a little bit more HP when you do decide to Giga Drain. So all 4 of these Pokemon should work amazingly together, and any combination of these Pokemon should work really well together, except maybe not 2 Brute. I don't think you need 2 Brute Bonnets. That's when I label a Pokemon as support, that always means like only one of these. That's how I decide, like, an attacker, all-arounder, and a support is how I name these Pokemon or label these Pokemon. So, like, I don't think realistically 4 attackers could work because there is no support there. And obviously, I don't think 4 supporters could work. That's where I come up with the concept of, like, here's our main attacker that will probably never hit heal cheer because their main goal is to attack. That case is superior. Here's our support, which is they're going to be the first to use all their heal cheers, which is Brute Bonnet. And then you have 2 all-arounders that just make everything go more smoothly, which in this case is Go-Goat and Appleton. So I won't be able to stream these raids because I will be in Japan. So if you do need help with these, feel free to join our Discord. They'll be able to help you. Yeah, I hope you have a great time. I hope these work out really well for you. I don't expect any crazy surprises from Torterra. I went over all of them anyways. But if you need help, join our Discord. They will definitely be able to help you this weekend. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for making it to the end. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.